The first moment you get a look at Persona 5's intro and main menu, you begin to realize that the game has a very unique style. This, combined with its excellent combat, compelling story and great cast of characters, make it one incredibly enjoyable game and possibly one of the best JRPGs ever made. The story follows a silent protagonist as he lives out a year attending Shujin Academy, a high school in Tokyo. Shortly after arriving, he and a few other students awaken their persona powers and take the fight to corrupted adults as a group of vigilantes called the Phantom Thieves of Hearts. They do this by entering supernatural realms called palaces and stealing the ill desires from the hearts of the affected adults. The story in the game is awesome, and the characters, both the ones you encounter and your party members, are pretty damn great too. They're deep with interesting backstories, and a lot of the time they're just downright entertaining with their reactions to situations and banter. The narrative had me quite engaged during my time with the game, and it was cool to see how each target's palace would be presented and also the manifestation of their desires. Persona 5 makes use of a complex and engaging turn-based battle system. Being able to use melee firearms in addition to magic is freeing and allows for a great amount of variety. Collecting personas as you progress through palaces is also a must, as each persona has its own set of skills. Strengths and weaknesses, and learning when to use each one is important to your survival. Combining your various personas also acts as a fun way to create new, stronger ones, while also giving you a bigger variety of skills to utilize when in combat. When visiting the various palaces during the game, you'll find that one is incredibly different from the next, not just in terms of aesthetics, but also in terms of the puzzles that feature throughout. This keeps the experience quite fresh and saves you having to look at the same walls and solve almost identical puzzles all the way through. The game isn't just about crawling through palaces, however, as you'll still need to attend school during the day. There are loads of other activities too, including reading, studying, practicing at the batting cages, going to see a movie, or hanging out with one of your confidants. Though it isn't always that simple, as you'll have to manage your time wisely. In between school and visits to the palace, you'll only have a certain amount of time to take part in other activities, so time management is a big factor. It also gives your choice of activity a certain degree of weight, as you may be passing up a chance to increase one of your 5 skills or strengthen the bond with one of your confidants, which would make them more effective in a fight. Some of the confidant stories are actually just as interesting as the game's main plot, which makes missing some of them somewhat disappointing, but makes the prospect of heading into New Game Plus incredibly exciting. In terms of visuals, Persona 5 oozes style. The way everything is presented, from the main menu to the conversations and battle screen, make this a pleasure to look at from start to finish. Even the tiniest details, such as ambushing an enemy, have a noticeable style to them. Aside from the style and design choices, the game also looks very good and runs smoothly on the PS4. Additionally, the boss and palace design is excellent. Persona 5's audio is just as brilliant as its visuals. The voice acting is top notch and the soundtrack, brilliant. Making use of an acid jazz soundtrack, it works perfectly with quiet scenes and even intense boss battles. The only complaint I had about the audio is the song that plays during every other battle. It gets a little annoying a little too quickly. While the track itself playing over and over again doesn't really do much damage, the vocal part of the track grates the senses somewhat. Persona 5 is a brilliant game. Its compelling plot and side stories make for an enjoyable storytelling experience, especially when coupled with its stellar visual style and soundtrack. The complex combat and varied combat system puts a nice spin on turn-based combat, and thanks to the added challenge of collecting and combining personas, there's never a dull moment. Persona 5 is a gorgeous JRPG with tons of things to do, plus a great replayability factor. Being my first Persona game, I can't really compare it to other installments in the series. However, it is an amazing game and one of the best JRPGs I've ever played. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be kept up to date with the channel, you can click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get email notifications so you can keep up to date with my uploads. And if you got your hands on Persona 5, let me know what you think of the game. I'd love to hear your opinion. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.